Blue Beetle is the superhero movie that showed the world that if your entire promotion of the film is based on representation, your movie is utter shit.
Getting dough and out of kitchens making monster. Representation matters, you dealing with a monster.
Shut the fuck up!
It comes with one of the most highly anticipated comic book heroes to date. Of all the superhero movies audiences have been clamoring for, at the top of the list was one name and one name only: a Blue Beetle.
Who are you?
You know, growing up in LA, when you were buying a toy, you always had to keep your eye out for the Mexican bootlegs. You had New Style Ninja Tortoise, or Spook Chasers, or Robert Cop. There was Bata Chica, and of course the childhood staple, El Supermano. But this is 2023, and we've got a good way of spotting bootleg toys now. But we are in a new phase of bootlegging. Welcome to DC's bootleg of Ant-Man, Blue Beetle. Because of all the stories the MCU told, everyone knows the Ant-Man storyline is the most beloved. As we journey along with the plot, you tell me if you spot any differences, and feel free to stop me if you haven't heard this one before. A reluctant hero who, while trying to support his family, loses his job, unknowingly takes home a supercharged insect suit that he's completely ignorant on how it works, so he teams up with the daughter of the original superhero and has to stop the evil tech CEO from creating an army of suits that she will later sell to the military that will take over the world. And that's it. That's the plot of Ant-Man and Blue Beetle. And it makes you wonder why people always say Hollywood is running out of ideas.
How was the show? Did I miss anything?
Miss anything like what? George Lopez's ex-wife's kidney or something? You're fine. You could totally cheap and skip out on Blue Beetle like old Jorge did with his wife just after she saved his life.
He's got a lot of karma to pay for it. You don't take a kidney from your wife and then pull that on her.
Okay, so this is Ant-Man, but with Latino representation. Shit, okay, I guess it's only Latino representation if you pretend Ant-Man didn't have this guy in it.
Okay, I was at a wine tasting with my cousin Ernesto, which was mainly reds, and you know I don't love reds, man. You know, but there was a rosé that saved the day. It was delightful.
So now you have a movie you've already seen, and if you liked it enough, chances are you own it. And if you thought it was all right, you might catch it on a streaming service. And if you hated it, well, you're not going to watch it again unless it's like part of your job or something.
Son of a bitch!
So where does this leave Ant-Man-o? Well, nowhere, to be honest. It has all the perfectly timed beats you come to expect from every comic book movie. You know where the action's going to happen, how the story is going to go, and has about as many twists and turns as an arrow. About the only thing shocking to come out of this film is the positive Catholic imagery typical Latino households would have. Another shocking plot twist is the family unit is intact, is strong, and our main protagonist has a father who isn't an asshole on some kind of level. For far too long, Hollywood has used religion as a source of evil and has a longer stretch in making the father figure non-existent or a piece of shit. Make no mistake, these positive traits are in the background, but they do exist in Blue Beetle and deserve to be pointed out. The performances are all there in a typical bland superhero movie. I have long said that Xolo Maridueña has the potential of being a megastar as long as he stays out of identity politics. Here in Blue Beetle, he says his lines and does the new guy superhero shit in a forgettable way, but he represents La Raza, so it's okay.
This is for my raza.
Jesus, do you ever shut the fuck up?
The representation continues as old hag Susan Sarandon turns in a performance as, was her quote again? Yes, the white military industrial complex. I mean, she said it so convincingly, I almost forgot about the time Colin Powell sold us on the Bonus War special back in 2003.
Saddam Hussein and his regime will stop at nothing until something stops him.
But really, true representation comes in full force with the director, Ángel Manuel Soto. He, like every comic book movie director, relies on CGI and fight choreography to represent his lack of talent. It's your basic comic book movie approach to filmmaking. The only request the film asks of the audience is to look the other way when it comes to lighting, blocking, and staging the actors. Once again, not one actor barely acknowledges their environments, let alone interacts with them. But Soto's real gift, his true talent, isn't behind the camera. No. It's in front of where he's able to inject divide in every aspect of promoting this film. And it all started from one little line at the tail end of the trailer.
Batman's a fascist. That man's a fascist. That man's a fascist.
This pissed off a lot of fans of the most beloved IP of all time, to say the least. To which Soto replied, "My job here is done," along with a Skeletor meme. Later, when Warner Brothers obviously spanked his butt for such an idiotic statement, he begged fans to give the movie a chance and that he was just joking around. And maybe the fans did forgive him and the writer for such mental subnormalities. But Soto's intellectual disability is so strong, it can't be contained. So later on, he wondered if there could ever be a Latino comic book character on a billboard in Times Square, when just a year prior, Namor's package was poking everybody in the eye on 42nd Street. And then, if you didn't notice the red flags firmly planted in your eye sockets and ear holes, he said the Film Actors Guild and WGA strikes affect minorities disproportionately.
Obsessed much?
You can't make this up. With promotional material like this, how are theaters not sold out? A movie with a bootleg plot not even a decade old? How is there no reports of stampedes at movie theaters? Must be the probability storm that Soto and James Gunn find themselves in. It's the same generic story with Blue Beetle as it is with most modern DC films. Popular on the internet, but when it comes time for people to actually show up, I'm outta here.